Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're preparing for the CompTIA Tech Plus exam, you already know that practice is the fastest way to learn. This certification covers the essentials: hardware, software, networking basics, troubleshooting, and IT operations. And the more questions that you work through, the more confident you'll feel. In this video, we're going to tackle another set of Tech Plus practice questions using Skilltestpro, giving you the hands-on experience that you need to be ready for exam day. All right, let's jump in. First question. Which of the following is an advantage of using fiber optic cables over copper cables? Lower cost, better resistance to electromagnetic interference, easier to install, less sensitive to weather conditions, or can transmit at lower speeds? The correct answer is better resistance to electromagnetic interference. Fiber optic cables use light signals, making them immune to electromagnetic interference, unlike copper cables that are susceptible to signal degradation. All right, question 2. What is a common use for a virtual machine, or VM? To emulate a secondary hard drive? To enhance network speed? To control power management settings? To isolate applications for testing and development? Or to replace physical hardware? The correct answer is to isolate applications for testing and development. Virtual machines allow users to run multiple operating systems or applications in isolated environments for testing or development without affecting the primary system. All right, question 3. What is the purpose of multi-factor authentication? To increase the size of passwords? To allow access without a password? To improve network security by requiring multiple forms of verification? To bypass firewalls? Or to store encrypted data? The correct answer is to improve network security by requiring multiple forms of verification. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring more than one method of verification, e.g., a password plus an SMS code. All right, question 4. Which type of cable is used to connect a computer to a wired network? HDMI, USB, Ethernet, Thunderbolt, or VGA? The correct answer is Ethernet. Ethernet cables are used for wired network connections, providing reliable and fast data transfer between devices on a local network. All right, question 5. What is a common symptom of overheating in a computer? Increased battery life, unusual system crashes and sudden shutdowns, slower Wi-Fi speed, faster boot time, or decreased RAM usage? The correct answer is unusual system crashes and sudden shutdowns. Overheating can cause a computer to shut down unexpectedly or crash in order to protect its components from damage. All right, question 6. What is the function of the CPU in a computer? To process and execute instructions? To store data and files? To manage power usage? To provide networking capabilities? Or to display images on the screen? The correct answer is to process and execute instructions. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is the brain of the computer, responsible for executing instructions from programs and managing operations. All right, question 7. Which of the following is an example of an input device? The monitor, the printer, keyboard, speaker, or headphones? Correct answer, keyboard. A keyboard is an input device that is used to enter data into a computer, whereas monitors, printers, and speakers are output devices. All right, question 8. What is the purpose of a UPS, or uninterruptible power supply? To protect devices from power surges? To store data in the event of a power failure? To provide backup power during power outages? To enhance Wi-Fi signals? Or to monitor network traffic? The correct answer is to provide backup power during power outages. A UPS provides temporary battery power to devices during a power outage, preventing data loss and allowing the user to safely shut down systems. All right, question 9. What type of software is used to control a computer's hardware and allow it to run applications? Firmware, utilities, device drivers, the operating system, or software as a service? The correct answer is the operating system. The operating system manages hardware resources, allows users to interact with the system, and provides a platform for running applications. All right, question 10. Which of the following storage devices uses rotating magnetic disks to store data? Solid-state drive, hard disk drive, USB flash drive, optical drive, or the memory card? The correct answer is hard disk drive. A hard disk drive, or HDD, uses rotating magnetic disks to read and write data, whereas solid-state drives, or SSDs, use flash memory. All right, you guys are doing great, halfway there. Question 11. What does the acronym BIOS stand for? Basic Integrated Operating System, Binary Input-Output System, Basic Input-Output System, Booted Integrated Operating System, or Binary Interactive Operating System? The correct answer is Basic Input-Output System. The BIOS is firmware stored on the motherboard, which is responsible for booting the computer and initializing hardware before the operating system loads. All right, question 12. What is the main difference between RAM and ROM? RAM is used for permanent storage, whereas ROM is used for temporary storage. RAM is faster than ROM. RAM is volatile, and ROM is non-volatile. ROM requires power to function, whereas RAM does not. Or RAM is only used in mobile devices. The correct answer is RAM is volatile and ROM is non-volatile. RAM loses its contents when the power is turned off, while ROM retains its data even when the power is off. All right, question 13. Which of the following is the most common way to back up data? External hard drives, paper files, USB flash drives, cloud storage, or system restore? The correct answer is cloud storage. Cloud storage provides an easy and secure way to back up data by storing it on remote servers that are accessible via the internet. All right, question 14. What is the purpose of an IP address? To uniquely identify a device on a network, to increase data transmission speed, to store network settings, to encrypt network traffic, or to assign passwords to network users? Correct answer is to uniquely identify a device on a network. IP addresses are used to identify devices on a network, ensuring that data is sent to the correct destination. All right, next question. Which of the following would be used to connect a computer to a wireless network? Ethernet cable, Wi-Fi adapter, USB mouse, HDMI cable, or a printer cable? Correct answer is a Wi-Fi adapter. A Wi-Fi adapter allows a computer to connect to a wireless network, providing internet access without the need for a physical connection. All right, question 16. What is the function of a DNS, or domain name system? Protects against malware, manages system backups, compresses network traffic, translates domain names into IP addresses, or encrypts network data? The correct answer is it translates domain names into IP addresses. DNS servers convert human-readable domain names, like www.blank.com, into IP addresses that computers use to communicate with each other. All right, question 17. Which of the following is a key feature of a firewall? Blocks unauthorized access while allowing legitimate traffic, prevents hardware failures, increases internet speed, protects against electrical surges, or manages printer queues? The correct answer is blocks unauthorized access while allowing legitimate traffic. Firewalls are designed to monitor and filter incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. All right, just a few more. Question 18. What does the acronym SSD stand for? Super speed disk, solid state drive, super storage device, solid state disk, or system storage drive? The correct answer is solid-state drive. An SSD is a type of data storage device that uses flash memory instead of mechanical components like in hard drives, resulting in faster data access. All right, question 19. Which of these is not a type of RAID configuration? RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 10, or RAID 3? The correct answer is RAID 3. RAID 3 is not a common configuration. The more typical RAID levels are RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10, which offer various configurations for data redundancy and speed. And finally, one more, question 20. What is the function of a device driver? Enables communication between hardware and the operating system, stores system data, manages network traffic, controls the display resolution, or protects against malware attacks. Correct answer is enables communication between hardware and the operating system. Device drivers are essential for hardware to communicate with the operating system, ensuring proper functionality of devices like printers, video cards, and keyboards. And that is another round of Tech Plus practice questions complete. Great job sticking with it, everybody. Remember, the best way to prepare is repetition. The more practice questions that you take, the sharper and faster you'll be when it counts. I've added the link to Skilltestpro in the description and in the pinned comment down below so you can access their full question bank and keep practicing. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.